What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Chime. Today, we have Ariel back with us. Hello again. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
I know. This is great. I'm excited.
So that's where we're at.
You added a name since we last chatted.
I did. And is my thing showing up twice?
It is. That's because you're double as important.
You know, I love that. If only it were true. How do I change that?
I have no idea. maybe Mark knows, but both of us are kind of, hey, Mark, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Hey, so today we're talking to Ariel, and we are going to find out how she landed her biggest listing ever using the Chime CMA tool.
Love it. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, wait, have you guys met?
No.
Oh, okay. Ariel, Mark, Ariel.
Now we have. Yes, we're old friends at this point.
Okay, so Ariel, fill us in on like your business, because you've been on these before, but a lot's changed since you were with us before. Fill us in on like what's new with your business, and then let's lead into the listing tool.
Sure. So I am located in Atlanta, Georgia. I work on a team with my mom. She's been in the business about 20 plus years. I don't want to age her, but she's only good. 30. Don't worry. Yeah. And anyway, she's lived in Atlanta for about 2 years. I've lived here about 5, and I've been working in real estate for about 2. So, but both of my parents, you know, we're in real estate my whole life. And so I feel like I got my GED in real estate. And then you and me both. And then I started doing it myself and was like, oh shit, this is actually harder than I thought. Which is what I think everyone who gets their license and thinks, oh, I can just, you know, this is so easy. I just show beautiful homes all day. I don't have to do anything. Everyone thinks that's what real estate is. And then you get started and you realize, okay, I actually need a lot of help. So that's when I realized, okay, I need something like Chime. I knew I needed a CRM. I knew I needed some way to keep me organized because you'll notice that I can't even hardly stay on track to tell a story throughout this. So to keep my business running straight is like a whole nother animal. So I started using Chime pretty religiously early on in my career and made myself get used to working in a CRM every day and mostly working with buyers. And just recently I've been able to kind of get more experience in the listing side. And when I saw the CMA tool, I was all excited because CMAs are my favorite part of real estate besides talking to people, but I love the research. Isn't that odd? I know.
Yeah. That's Mark. How many times have you heard CMAs are my favorite? Like I doubled in basically math.
One time.
Yeah. Ariel, you're my first one that has ever said that. Yeah, literally today.
It's also like not my personality because I love talking to people and I'm not good at math really. But I don't know, my background's in research and I just really love going to people and knowing what I'm talking about. And
that's fair.
So,
makes sense.
You know, and then also it's I think, you know, I'd always rather be over prepared, especially because I'm just now getting into the listing side. So practicing different research skills has been important to me because I want to know what I'm doing in order to properly sell myself. You know, working with buyers is one thing, but working with sellers is a whole different animal. So anyway, I saw the beta testing of the CMA tool and I was like, oh, well, I don't know if this is going to be good enough because I love my CMAs. And so I'll test it out, you know, I'll see what's going on.
Sure.
And had a listing appointment a couple of days later, ended up using it, and like the customizations were so fantastic that I truly believe that was a big part of landing this listing, because so much of what we do is psychological, and we use the DISC test. And every time I meet someone, my mom and I are like, all right, I'm pretty sure he's an SI
Do you
or
really?
yep.
Huh.
Huh.
Yep.
Learn something new. Continue. Sorry.
Yes. So, well, so it's interesting because one of these clients are from our sphere of influence. And so like I knew a little bit about what their personalities were, but when we had a listing appointment, you know, people are totally different in a business environment. And so what we did was meet together after our first conversation with them and say, all right, what do you think their disc profiles are? And I was actually able to customize the Chime CMA around what we thought, what we had concluded that their disc profiles were. And you don't even
Awesome.
have to use disc, but you know, you can understand if somebody's a detail person or if they're not from the get-go. And so anyway, they loved it. I actually made 2 separate CMAs, one for the husband, one for the wife, and they were totally different. I mean, same information, but the different styles. And so like I said, I've been in 2 years. We locked down a $1.6 million listing, which is exciting for me. And we went under contract yesterday. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
That is so cool. I'm actually trying to pull up right now while I'm sitting over here. I'm actually trying to pull up to make a CMA, but unfortunately I'm looking for anything that is connected to an MLS right now. I'm on a demo account trying to find this for everybody so we can actually show you what you can do with this. Because I think this is probably one of the cooler features of Chime. I'm a big fan, I should say. It does make it very easy to customize. And as I think everybody knows, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to marketing. So
what? No.
Me? No.
No.
The way that it all looks and the way that it works together, I think it looks beautiful. I think Chime did a great job with it. So let me try to see if I can create one. But while we're doing that, Mark, do you have any questions for Ariel on this?
Yeah, I do. Ariel, thanks for sharing that story too. It's really cool. A question for you. Did you mention that this client was a Sphere client or is it, how did you get this client?
Yeah, they're a Sphere client. So my mom actually is like the most involved person in any room. She will know everyone by the time we leave. And I am as well, but she's a lot easier to digest. And so anyway, she met these friends when that's why we work so well together. She's like soft and I'm like, listen here, you want to get your offer accepted? You better listen up. Again, can't stay focused. But so she met these people and became friends with them. And it turns out they are moving to be closer to a grandbaby. So Sphere of Influence definitely got us the lead, but we were not a shoe in. I mean, they were, if anything, we were last on their list because they were really concerned about working with friends. And so that's why I really do attribute the Chime platform altogether to getting this locked down, but especially the CMA tool, just because it added a layer of professionalism that was really important to them. And the 2 other brokers that they interviewed in the neighborhood are like the 2 #1 top producers in that neighborhood. And I am nowhere near that. And so it was really awesome. That's part of the reason that I can attribute so much to Chime is because we were last on their list, like I said, and I think it really gave us that professional edge that other people didn't have.
What did you use? What did you use before Chime CRMs? What did you use, MLS, or did you use CMAs, cloud CMAs? What did you use
for CMAs?
Yeah, before Chime.
Yeah. So I used the MLS obviously for the research piece, and then I've used what's the
cloud CMA that you used?
Yeah, but RPR. Thank you.
RPR, yeah.
That's what I used to use. That's still what I used. Before Chime, that's all I was using.
Yeah. And it's that I still will use multiple,
tools,
platforms, just because I think that it's silly not to when you have them at your disposal. But as far as making it pretty and luxurious to send to clients as the end result, like I'm not sending them RPR anymore. I might do some research in that, but
Yeah. Cool.
But I want to show everybody how this actually works, because it is really, really cool. I think that the way that Chime displays the information. Here's the thing. I love RPR. Don't get me wrong. A data guy, right? Okay. So doubled in aerospace engineering and space physics. I love data. But at the same time, when I present to someone who doesn't like as much data or can get overwhelmed in the data, the amount of information that RPR puts in front of someone is way too much. Even for me, I'm like, okay, that's overkill. Chime presents it in such a way that it is easy for someone to understand. And our job as being an agent is to make sure that our message comes across clearly so we can actually compete with other people. If all you do is throw data at people and see what sticks, you're going to lose a lot of clients doing that. But if you actually have a meaningful way of displaying that data, and meaningful way, when I say meaningful way, I mean in a way that everybody can understand, it makes you look so much better and so much more trustworthy. In case no one wants to know how this actually works. Actually, if you want to see how CMA works, I'm going to put it in the Chime group for everybody. That's how I'm going to do this.
Perfect.
All right, let's see what we have up here. So this is, I just made this real fast. Obviously, I put zero effort into this, just so we're clear. But if you actually go through here, I mean, this is nice and easy. Obviously, that's not me. He's way better looking than me. My name is not John Appleseed. This is a demo, but you can kind of see how this is all put together, the value as an agent, and then you keep cruising on through here. What can an agent provide for, in this case, a buyer, because this is actually a buyer. This is a CMA for a buyer. That's because the lead that I had in here was already a buyer lead. But this would say, what can they provide for their sellers? If you are not doing a CMA for your buy sides, I would be kind of confused. And why would we want to do one of these for a buy side? Put yourself in the shoe of the buyer. Like, hey, here's the offer we're thinking about making on this house. Well, let's run a CMA on it. Let's see how that works. Now you've got all of this in front of you too. What factors influence pricing? And look how nice and easily displayed this is. This is stuff that Ariel can explain, Mark can explain, I can explain. Very simple, right? It's not this crazy amount of data. What's a CMA? You know how many times I've been asked that in my career? Like, hey, what is a CMA? It's like, oh, okay, well, here we go. No two homes are identical. All of this is in there. And then it pulls comparables, right? And the thing that I like about, and Ariel, I'm sure you use this, when you're pulling your comparables, it shows where on the map they are. And the thing that I like is it shows, okay, green is active, yellow is pending, red is sold. It's showing you a combination of everything. And then you come down here and it actually breaks these down even more. You can edit these like you can in RPR, which is phenomenal. And then it comes down here into your property averages, price per square foot, average selling time. That's always a good one to see. And then this is, oh, shoot, I wonder if it'll show me this. It shows my favorite graph ever, which is price versus days on the market, right? How many times have we had those clients that are like, hey, we want to price it, 40,000 above where it should be. Okay, well, let's show you. Hey, if we're going to price it here, here's your competition. Here's where your competition priced, and here's how long they stayed on the market. So this is going to help you get the price point you're trying to get. And then your estimated market value. And then you can have some other stuff in here too, along with testimonials. But the idea here is that it is very clean. It's very well put together. You have a marketing action plan that can be adjusted for you, which is great. This is something that I think Chime really knocked out of the park. And from a marketing aspect, which is what I love, it's clean, it's easy to understand, which is the goal.
Yeah, and I really liked when you were showing us, you were like, look, I know what these are. Mark knows how to explain these, you know how to explain them, but they're laid out in a really clear way, but yet some of it still requires a little bit of explanation, which I
Yes.
like, because then it doesn't look like we've just got, okay, I'm going to throw up a PowerPoint and read off of it. It's like, hey,
Exactly.
look, I'm going to lay this out in front of you. Let me go into more depth. Whereas, yeah, I agree. RPR a lot of times just is so overwhelming that I don't even know how to explain it, because there's so much.
Exactly. The idea behind a CMA, and I am all for, I've used Cloud CMA, I've used RPR, I've used them all. I've created my own in like Excel spreadsheets. Please don't be that person. But I'm that guy. Here's the thing that I like, right? I like that this is inclusive of every client that you can have. If you get an engineer that is super analytical, you have a way to take it to that level. But if you get the average, normal, everyday person that just wants to know, hey, where should we price this? And like, what information did you use to get this information? You have it there in an easily explainable way. The more we can feel confident in the data that we are providing, and the more confident we feel about explaining the data that we're providing, the more trust we build with the client. And this gives you a really simple way to explain a very complicated subject very easily. People don't like when I say this because I insult a lot of Americans when I do this. For the record, I am American. Yes, I have Canadian background, but I can insult on both sides. North Americans operate on about a 5th grade learning level most of the time. If you can explain this in a 5th grade learning level, I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. Just so we're laying that out. But
I think 5th grade is generous.
On about a 5th
Brett,
grade learning level,
you already
it's
lost me.
Inclusive of everybody. What was that, Mark?
You already lost me. I'm sorry. You don't have to.
Oh,
you
shut
have
up. Okay, so for Mark, we got to explain things on a 3rd grade. I'm kidding.
Slow.
If we could keep things so you're trying to make sure you don't exclude a client. And this is something that I did a lot when I was, even when I was well experienced in the market. This is something that my now wife brought up to me when she got into the business. She went on a listing presentation with me. And again, huge engineering background, like that's my world. And I connect really, really well with engineers, doctors, those people, because I can get really analytical. And so I met with an engineer and her husband, and they were going to sell their house. And dude, the wife and I hit it off like that. I mean, we were bantering back and forth about math. We were talking statistics. It was probably one of the better days of my career. But I walked out of there feeling like, yeah, baby, I got this listing in the bag. And I had taken Aurora with me. And so we leave and she goes, oh yeah, you're not getting that one. I'm like, did you not just see what happened? That was like the best back and forth banter I've ever had. And she goes, you lost the husband about 30 seconds into that conversation. You are not getting that listing. And I was like, dinner on it. And she goes, done. I bought dinner. I lost that listing. And I lost the listing because I lost the other side of that transaction. I lost the other party because I was so focused on one that I lost the other person that could not relate on that level. And so after that, I made a very big point to always include the person that I didn't connect the most with. And I always focused on that person. So in that situation, again, I would have put not all, but most of my attention on the husband to make sure that he understood at the same level what was going on. So I built trust with both parties. RPR is like explaining to an engineer. And that's great if those are your only clients and that's the only thing you do. But in the case of most people, you want to be able to explain to both parties. And that's what Chime CMA Tool can do. So Ariel, I am super happy to hear that worked out well for you.
Thank you. As am I.
How would
Let's get it to close.
How would you recommend someone start with it? I mean, obviously you can just go in and create a CMA tool or a CMA for anything, but how would you suggest people start transitioning from, like you said, RPR over to Chime CMA Tool? Just do it.
First of all, I think the Chime CMA Tool is much easier to use.
Yeah.
I like RPR because I love to geek out over the data, but I would imagine, like you guys said, never heard anyone say that before. Most people are normal and have lives outside of like doing research for listings they don't have but would like to have. So anyway, you don't have yet. I would go in and, I mean, I'm a big role play fan. So like, okay, I knew that was coming. I literally can't even look at you. I think like in our team meetings every Monday, we do a lot of role playing as far as with clients, with buyers, with sellers. And I think that that's a really good way, honestly, to like move into using the Chime CMA is make up, like find a house that you would love to have listed and just like make a CMA as if you're presenting it to them. And some people that doesn't work for them, but it works for me to lock myself in my office and say, okay, I would love to list this house. Let me do all the research. And then you never know, maybe it sits on the market and you have the opportunity to call them or you mail it to them and say, hey, I understand you're listed with somebody else, but you know, I was just doing some practicing and came up with this information, do with it what you will. You never know what could come with that. But I know that's not like very insightful, but it's really not that hard to just like do it.
And that's, I think there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be hesitant because they've used RPR or Cloud CMA in the past, and Cloud CMA does integrate with Chime, which is nice. But the thing that I ripped off the Band-Aid as well, and I've been using the Chime CMA tool, mainly because I, like you, saw it in there on a beta test and was like, ooh, tools. Yeah. And I mean, I'm the shiny object guru here. So if there's a shiny object, I'm like Doug the dog from Up. I just, yeah. So, I think it's a great tool. I think once you use it a couple of times, you start realizing that it is faster to create a CMA. It's easier to explain to your clients. And I think it will help increase business overall. So
yeah, I agree. And you touched on the marketing piece of it as well. I edited that marketing timeline. I ripped it to shreds and just made it my own. And I love it. It's so awesome. Like no other agent, maybe my mom, because she has access to my Chime, will send a CMA that looks just like mine.
Right.
Because I have a different marketing plan. Even if it says the same things, it's still, even if every other agent these sellers interview use the Chime CMA tool, mine's going to look different. And you just don't get that level of customization at that level. You know, you can, click, uncheck and check which comps you want to use on any tool, but down to how you're going to make the difference, I think is another piece that really sets it apart.
Before we go, I'll show you there's actually a new thing that Chime just rolled out in the CMA tool. It's called Present Yourself. This is something that I thought was pretty nifty. So you're actually in the settings here and you can actually come up to CMA Create New and you come down here to Present Yourself. This is a new feature. Market yourself and your valuable services without needing to provide any specific listing details. So for those of you that are going on listing presentations where you want basically a listing presentation, that is essentially what Chime has helped you do, where it removes the property specific out of it. And you can come through here and change all of these pages out. You can modify pretty much everything in here. The agent resume, you can change all this out. You can make it very customizable, but this is the Present Yourself function. This is how you show your differentiation. So they have that one in here, which is really cool. And then you can do a buyer CMA, which I showed you a few minutes ago. And then you have a seller CMA presentation that you can do as well. You put all your property information in here, featured image, and you just keep kind of pushing through the process. Like Ariel said, you can modify this to be very, very unique. And in our marketplace where we're all trying to get listings, being unique is a good thing. So be as unique as you can, modify that as much as you can, and try it out.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Ariel, you are our favorite Atlanta real estate agent. How does someone get a hold of you?
So my Instagram got hacked.
Shut
I
up,
used to be
really?
like, dude, yes.
No.
If you voted for me for some like influencer program because
I
you
did
thought
that.
that no, you didn't.
I seriously did.
For me? No.
So
You
you're an
got
influencer.
got.
Yeah, I got a cool message. I was like, oh yeah, shut up, it's Ariel. I'll do that for Ariel.
No. Okay, well, you should change your password like
I did.
now.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't worry, I did.
Oh gosh. Yeah, everyone got it. So anyway, I'm still trying to get it back. So it's the best if you just go to atlantahomes.io, but
Okay.
my Instagram is now Ariel Sells Atlanta.
Okay.
So either one
That's
of
hilarious.
those.
Yeah, because I definitely voted for you.
Well, you know what? I appreciate it, and I'm so sorry.
So good.
Mark,
Oh.
this is kind of fun right now because we have Mark in Malibu, we have Ariel out there in Atlanta, and then we have me up in the Great White North. We've got like the corners of North America pretty cool. We just need, next time we need to get someone from like Maine on the call, and then we could just have like all four corners covered.
4 corners.
Yeah, that's what I
I'll
think.
work on that.
world.
I think there are like 3 people who live in Maine, so I'll definitely work on I mean, it's beautiful, but I don't know anyone, so sorry. All right. I should
Mark,
shut
if
up.
someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do so?
Yeah, you can text me 805-754-0222 or hit me on Instagram. It's Sir Marcus, ITS-SIR-MARKUS.
And if anybody needs to get a hold of me, you know what, since we've all shared our Instagrams, I'm going to do it. I'm at The Real Brett Baker. So thank you guys for being on another weekly chime with us. And Ariel, I hope to see you again soon. Mark, I know I'm going to see you next week. So
Probably this week.
probably this week. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Later.
Bye.
Take
Thanks,
care,
guys.
everybody. See ya.